Rico, how are you doing, brother?
Testing, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite fired up for this one. Well, thank you for thank you for being here, man.
Of course, man. I'm happy to come up and thanks for having me on. So, yeah.
I mean, you know what? Let's if you let me, let's just kick the doors down, right? Are Magic Eden and Tensor, are they in trouble?
I don't know. I don't think they're in trouble. No, I don't think they're in trouble. I think, I don't see Tensor doing too much, but they did, like you just said a minute ago, with the token thing that went to Coinbase, and everyone can see that Magic Eden what they're pivoting to. But I don't think they're in trouble. I just think they're, perhaps moving into different industries to keep investors happy. I don't know,
So for you know what, I kind of slipped over banana peel. Orbis to me was really mysterious at first, right?
Yeah. We we tried to keep it under wraps, but it didn't last very long.
I mean, what do you think that is?
Well, initially it was just a team kind of testing, but having sort of 5-10 people is not enough to proper test. So we kind of opened it up to 2 or 3 communities, and we had multiple group chats going on where 10 people in a Discord group chat, and then it would rotate, and we had a lot of testing. But you can't, even though we asked to please keep it quiet, it didn't last. But it doesn't matter, it is what it is, it's out there. So
so to basically anyone who who's tuning in for the first time, right? You guys, at least you try to fly under the radar a little bit. How, what is Orbis and what does it do?
Okay, so it's not a platform designed to extract liquidity. That's number one. It's designed it's designed to support and provide founders with a hub for their collection that goes beyond just buying and selling NFTs. And if we can do some screen sharing in a little while, I can show you some ways that we're trying to do that.
Just let me you can already put in the presenter if you'd want, but let me know whenever you'd like to just have it implemented, then I'll drag it up.
Sure. Okay. No worries. So I mean, GOTM Labs is our company. Okay, just for a bit of a backstory, we've been building and providing solutions to multiple NFT projects on Solana for the past 2 or 3 years now. Things like staking sites, trait stores, MPL4 swaps, metadata updates, and all this kind of stuff. We already work with quite a lot of founders, help provide support. And a lot of what I do on a daily basis is, helping those founders sort out problems within their collection, etc., etc. Orbis it's been in development for quite some time now. And right now we're in kind of a closed beta phase where we have about 1,500 or so wallets that are basically providing feedback and giving their views and suggestions and things they want or things they like. So the community are kind of shaping what it's turning out to be, which is really interesting because sometimes you get someone come along and they give some really crucial feedback or some great ideas. So it's been nice to kind of work with not just the team decide what it's going to be, it's literally the community deciding. So
I think that's basically what part of what's going so well for you guys, right? Because I think a big problem is that community felt left out and not being heard, right? If you're looking, I mean, Tensor is, I have no clue what Tensor is doing, and I don't do anything else on the day. Let's just call it for what it is. Magic Eden is, as you said, they're pivoting. Why did you opt for going this route?
Yeah, what in terms of getting community to give their suggestions. It's just the best way. It's
Why
the
is it
best way.
important
Like,
to you?
yeah, exactly. Who better to understand or to give feedback than people actually purchasing NFTs and using them? Even though we all do ourselves within the team, for example, but
Mm-hmm.
1,000 voices are better than 10. So
True.
yeah.
True. So here's like another one, right? So we see like the industry more so dying than reviving, and I mean, like, we might just be at the pivoting point. Who knows, right? But like, we see pretty much like doom posts of NFTs are dead on a daily basis. So why are you building this right now? And like, more so, like, why have you been building? Because like, this cannot be like, hey, you slipped over banana peel and boom, there's your NFT exchange, right? Like, why have you started building this like in the heart of the bear market?
Building the bear best way, but we've been building for a few years, and yeah, okay, the liquidity in NFTs is not what it was in 21, right?
Sure.
Okay, we I don't know what kind of market you want to call it, whether we're in a bear market in terms of tokens or not. It's up to you to decide, but it's nothing we haven't seen before in history. I don't think we'll see the same type of liquidity back into NFTs that we had in 21. Since meme coins kind of took over, it was kind of easier for people to create tokens and manipulate audiences, really. So yeah.
Okay. So can you maybe like elaborate like a little bit, because you before Orbis, like we like had like this discussion like earlier on basically what you did especially, right? And like, you are, I mean, I remember thinking to myself, I mean, like, I kind of get why these guys are actually like getting like pivoting to like an NFT exchange, right? So can you maybe like, for anyone like tuning in, what is the background to you guys? Like, what are like some of the solutions you've provided with like GOTM Labs, and why within NFTs?
So we're not just NFTs with GOTM Labs. We do token solutions as well, like SPL staking. On the NFT side, trait stores, NFT staking. But the marketplace, it helps to integrate some of those stuff. Like, when you purchase an NFT, if you have a staking site, there's straight away there's a button that says stake this NFT. Staking figures are quite important for collection. So we have staking figures, and even if your collection is not directly with us for staking, we still track staking figures for other NFTs. Unfortunately, we couldn't put staking in the algorithm because I'll talk about the Orbis ranking algorithm in a moment, but it would have been nice to include it within the algorithm, but unfortunately, like, some projects don't have staking, so really you can't. It's not justified to include it within the algorithm for others that don't.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Like, in terms of solutions, there's a lot, and there's a lot of kind of like public available tools as well for people to use, like snapshots, updating metadata, revoking NFTs, reminting NFTs. There's features on the staking site that include two-factor 2FA security. Unfortunately, being a staking provider for lots of projects on a weekly basis, prior to the solutions we have now, I would often see that someone had their wallet drained via some bricked wallet or something, and their assets, they couldn't retrieve them. So we have like an asset recovery tool as well. I know there's a few out there, but we kind of built it. We built it into the staking site, so users can recover their assets. Literally, use another wallet to pay the fees to transfer their NFTs to another wallet, and they remain staked, so you don't kind of lose all your rewards and stuff. And with the added security of 2FA on top, it really helps. Yeah, there's been a lot of improvements to a lot of the solutions that we already provide, and founders have a full back-end admin panel, just like the marketplace does, where they can control and manage things. So on the marketplace, in terms of I'll go through it in a minute when we screen share, but there's quite a lot of stuff in the back end that founders can manage, from announcements to more of a collector's page to give a bit more information. When you go and look at a project, you want to see more stuff, maybe some history. When did they mint? This kind of stuff. Who are the team members? So yeah, we'll go over that stuff shortly.
Would you like to just go there right now?
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Where's the stream button? Is it?
I think at the bottom.
I've got it. I've got it. Share screen. Perfect. Let me know if it's working.
Can I drag it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There
good.
we go. Maybe I can make it a little better. There we go.
Okay, nice. Right, so let's have a look. Let's just go to gains as an example. So some things you can do on here. So first of all, they can add a project banner. Okay, and before we go to that, let's look at the featured projects on the top. So currently it has 5 banners, and they won't just be the same. They fluctuate every, I can't remember what I set it to now. It was either 4 hours or 6 hours, but I'll have to confirm. But basically, the first banner will be the project that's currently number 1 on here, providing they have a banner. Solarians are currently number 1 on the ranking algorithm. So yeah, I'll come back to the ranking algorithm in a moment, but so the first banner will be based upon who's the top in ranking. The second banner will be, let's have a look, will be kind of like top sales within 24 hours, and then it goes to top volume in 24 hours, and then the other 2 banners are completely for every single project, and it rotates, and it's fair, so everyone gets a kind of a spotlight on on the homepage. And then obviously you have which projects you can kind of which are hot right now in terms of sales and stuff. And in terms of the table view on the homepage, you can configure it how you want it. So let's say you're not interested in looking at volume or top offers or staked. You change the configuration to kind of what you want to look at, and it will save that in the memory. And you can also drag, let's say if you want to put floor price something down there, apply, it will put it into the correct order for you. So you can kind of look at it how you want to look at it on a daily basis. There is another view here where you can view a bit larger images if that's what you're into, but I think most people probably just like the stats. You can also filter by inventory, which will just show collections that you currently hold. And then you've got obviously all time, 30 days, 7 days, etc. And some USD converging there. So, and if you want to, by default, it shows projects by the Orbis rank, which I'll go into in a second. If you want to look by volume, you can sort by volume and sort by other stuff as well, not a problem. So let's look at the ranking, because I think that's one thing that needs change in our opinion. Okay, so and this is why we come up with this with a scoring system. So you can see when you hover over it, it shows you all the scores. Okay, now if I go down to ranking, it gives you some information here on the algorithm and how it works. But the community are the ones that are deciding this algorithm. Okay, now I'm connected with a wallet and I've already submitted my entries. So if you haven't done this, then it was displayed differently, and it would kind of allow you to submit. That goes to the back end, and then it automatically reconfigures every so many hours and changes based upon everyone's input into the survey. Okay, so basically what it does, it looks at volume, it looks at your not staking ratio, because we've removed it. So there's 9, there was 10, but we've decided to remove staking just so it doesn't affect others. But it looks at your hold account, sales velocity, how old is the collection, what's the current market cap, how stable is the floor, how many listings are there, what's the price trend like, is it going slowly up, is it fast up, etc. How many offers. So it's kind of an evolving algorithm that will change based upon a community input, but we can also add more things to it in the future. So if anyone does have any ideas about specific things that could be tracked related to a collection, then by all means do let us know. So that's the Orbis ranking algorithm, and that's how by default projects will be displayed. In terms of the projects that we've added so far, because we're in beta, we're just testing. They've been added. There's no favoritism. Okay, obviously we've added our own projects, and initially we've been working with projects like Basque, Vibe Tribe, Pusters, and members within their community were literally, given their feedback. Now, other collections have been added for a variety of reasons. Okay, it could be that they're a compressed NFT collection. It could be that they're legacy or PNFT or a CNFT, for example, or MPL core. And because each NFT effectively works different. It could be that the collection is fully static in terms of images. It could be a multi-image collection. It could be a fully animated collection. It could be a part animated collection. Honestly, with images, it could go on and on, but you won't believe how many differences there are with images. So we look at OK Bears, for example. When you go to one of theirs, you can see that there's an arrow button here where you can press and it will change to the 3D version. Or to the hand version. Okay, and when you click, and you can also see them here. So it's getting things like this optimized, and catering for different projects that have different aspects. And then there's also projects that are currently minting, or projects.
This is like a reason why you would do this in the bear market, right? Because especially in the bull market, you want to have figured out the scaling in these kind of things.
Exactly, yeah. Before we go mad on adding loads of projects, you want to get things situated first with a handful. So yeah, that's currently where we are in terms of projects. We do have orbs and a voting system. Okay, so orbs are literally earned when you buy and sell NFTs. There's a little leaderboard here. And the way it currently works is 1 sol equals 100 orbs, providing the listing is natively on Orbis. We do display aggregated listings from Magic Eden and Tensor. As you can see here, it shows you a little badge where it's listed. You do get 10% of what it would be if it was natively listed on Orbis, if that makes sense. Okay. Let's have a quick look at the voting system. Very controversial. Some people are kind of for it, against it. It was something we kind of initiated early on to kind of gate what projects get listed, right? Because the infrastructure to support 500,000 or 1 million projects is very different to the infrastructure to support 5 or 10,000. So I think we need to decide where we want to be. What do we want to do? Do we want just projects on there that have an active community that want to be active? Because sorry, just need a glass of water. 1 second.
Yeah, no worries. Take your time.
Yeah, so like I say, it's very controversial. Some people like it, some people are against it. But basically, your orbs act as influence to the listing. So, for example, Mutants on Sol here, they've got 46 people that have voted, but a total of 35,000 orbs. Once you vote for a project, it's pretty much automatic, if that makes sense. So if you increase your orb balance and you've already voted, it will just automatically count it on. But the way we're currently running it at the moment is there is a suggestions. You can come here, you can type, you can search for something that's already been suggested, or up here there's a suggestion box where you can enter the name of a new collection and suggest it, okay, or enter the collection address. So at the moment, projects that are being suggested and have the top ones, they will be moved to votes, and then votes go straight to listing. At the moment, it's just founder kind of, as long as the founders have given authority, because there's a lot of settings in the back end which we can go through in a moment. But yeah, let's have a look. And if you come down here and go to about, we can look at some more stuff about Orbis and what kind of makes Orbis different, right? And you can click on each one of these and it'll give you a very brief introduction. But bots is one thing, seller side royalties, for example. And come here and have a look. There's a referral system.
Can
The
we
main big
maybe
one
like
is
get like 2 seconds into like the seller side royalties, because like that has been like such a
yeah.
so I mean, like, we gotta like unpack this can of worms, right? I mean, like, I do want to like let you go, but like sometimes like I do want to like zoom into like these things to where I'm like,
hmm
you guys. I mean, like, this is why I like invited you to begin with, Rico. You guys
Yeah.
seem to care, right? When
Oh yeah.
I will never forget, and like again, like I would love to have like these kind of discussions with the likes of Magic Eden as well. But
Mhm,
if we're talking about like seller side royalties, for example,
mhm.
it's been like probably the number one frustration from the community over
Yeah.
the years. Whether it would solve all of the problems or not, who cares? But like, it's been a problem nevertheless.
Yes.
They Magic Eden has had their vote back in the day, and well, they they did not do anything with it. So
Mm.
why would you include this into the platform so significantly as presented right here, right now, while you're not even live? Like, does it make sense to you?
I think the reason for it is for the long-term sustainable growth for the projects rather than anything else. But it's very much linked to bots as well. So
Hmm.
um, and that, bots are a big problem for projects. Like
Yeah.
now, I do understand if demand was there. I look at all angles. If demand was there, bots wouldn't be so much of a problem. But the problem you get with bots, especially multiple bots that start purchasing on, they prey on the weak. They'll place an offer for, let's say the floor price was 3 sol, they'll place an offer for 2 sol. And then you get two bots do that, and then they compete against each other to make profit, and they'll bring the price all the way down to 2.05 sol, for example. They're happy to make that tiny bit of profit, right? And it's all automated, and you have that continuous price change from them. Now, I do get it. There's people out there that run multiple wallets with multiple bots across multiple collections. Does it do good for the projects? It's up to you for you to decide. Me personally, I don't think they're a good thing. So we have built into Orbis restrictions on what can be done. How often can a price be changed, for example? Because some of these bots are changing prices every 2 minutes, and it's a lot of noise, right? And it's just not good. So yeah, we've gone seller side royalties. We're still kind of testing stuff, and it can get quite complicated because we have native listings on Orbis that are seller side royalties, but then we're also aggregating from other marketplaces and bringing them through. And yeah, so as you can imagine, trying to get the display and all this kind of stuff to calculate correctly can be challenging for sure. So yeah, seller side royalties, bot discouragement. But the flywheel was probably the most interesting thing, right? And going back to why not just add 500,000 projects? Well, we want to be able to give a large share of the marketplace revenue back to the holders. Okay, so we have 40% of marketplace revenue is allocated to a rewards pool. Okay, and it basically is used for purchasing NFTs from the projects. Okay. But
Sorry for me to intertween there, but that's actually like similar to like Magic Eden's buyback program back in the day, right?
I guess they bought them and kept them in a wallet and did nothing else. Okay, what we're doing is that 40% revenue, it doesn't all just go to one project. Let's say project X generates 100 sol in marketplace revenue, for example. That 100 sol doesn't just go to purchasing NFTs from that project. A percentage does, which is currently weighted at 25%, but the rest of the 75% goes into a pool for every single project. What this does, it helps smaller projects, and it helps the entire ecosystem. Okay, so and now just for let's say with that sol, in the week it's purchased 10 different NFTs from 10 different projects. If you are a holder within that collection, it's essentially a free ticket to enter. Okay, It's capped at 20%, so it's kind of, there's a bit of fairity there.
Mhm.
And you can just come here and press enter completely free. And yeah, so we're given the NFTs, the marketplace is literally purchasing NFTs, supporting smaller projects, but then giving those NFTs back to the community. And it's not just NFTs, okay? Projects that have tokens can allocate a percentage of that revenue towards buying back their token. Now, if I go into activity down here at the bottom, you'll see here there's a token tab. So as you can see here, the founder can essentially decide if they want to burn their token or do they want to send it to a rewards wallet, for example. It's capped at 20%. So, rather than that, say, 20 SOL being used to purchase their NFTs, they can allocate 20% to purchase and support their token as well. Because, supporting these tokens for these projects is important. So yeah, and they can decide whether they want to burn it or do they want to send it to a wallet. And those will start to appear. Well, you can see these appearing here already. It's all kind of up and running and working. So yeah, that's a bit more information for you on the kind of the system that we have in place for that.
I mean, like, this is the part which really gets me excited, right? Like at the end of the day, like it kind of looks like you guys have been like looking at a lot of the problems we're seeing in the market, and more so like, how do we fix that?
Exactly. It's about project growth. It's about just highlighting some of these projects better, about giving founders some tools that they can actually do stuff with rather than just change their Twitter URL. If I was to, can you still see this screen now? Yeah, no, you can't.
No, I can't. But like, if you basically redo it, then I'll just break it up.
I can do something. Let's have a look. Let me just flick to here.
Yeah, no worries. Take your time.
You can see the back end here now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So yeah, like I was saying, in the back end for founders, there is a lot of settings that they can do stuff with. Okay, and going back to the tokens, for example, they may want to integrate dupe swap on their platform. Okay, so I'll go back to a collection page in a minute, but straight away there's their dupe swap linked with their token. You've got Discord webhooks for the token buybacks, so they can choose whether to burn or send to a wallet. And yeah, there's lots of other stuff, but I won't go too much into the back end. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else important here that you want to see. Oh, okay, here's some alpha. I'm not going to say too much more on this bit, but just be ready for what's coming.
I mean,
yes. Tools.
I mean, like, I don't want to. It's okay. Like, we'll get like let's be like this. Let's leave the speculation part to be the speculation part. But like, this is interesting. It's so like. Sorry, please go ahead.
It's all right. I'm just going to quickly go on here now. We've started to add some stuff. So, for example, now projects can add a video. Okay.
Nice.
I won't play it, but you can come on there and display a video. You saw the streaming bit, but we'll talk about it more in the future. And if you go to what I was talking about earlier, give them some more information on the project. If you highlight over a project, you can go to view team, quickly see who the team members are. Again, founders can control that. And if you click on view all collections, kind of gives you a bit more of a creator page, really, where you can see which collections are linked. And it allows the founders to give a bit more information. So this will probably be populated with a bit of history, and things like that. And
that's the part I really like, right? Because like, I think like, if we want to like make this industry better, then a big part of that is also going to be like the educational aspect to it, right? Like, I think we should make it rather easier for new players to enter the market rather than harder, right? So like the education, like where does this collection come from? Who are the founders, exactly. Right? Like it's so important, because it should be as easy. Like, my grandma should be able to buy them if she would like to. right?
Yeah, exactly. Just hover over, view the team, who, and you can add
True.
collab manager, or like, marketing something, or
Hmm.
you can add whatever you want, and multiple, and then you just click it and it'll take you to their Twitter, for example. The other thing we've added is a little announcements icon here. When you click it, this one is pinned, and founders can do an announcement. It's just obviously a test, but yeah, and like there's certain things where not all of like me, for example, I have NFTs from lots of different projects. I don't have the time, unfortunately, to be in all of the discords and check on all the announcements and stuff like this. But having access to it via a marketplace, for example, is it's kind of quick and easy to press a button and just have a look. So yeah, we're trying to implement things like
Is the announcement, would that be like an aggregator?
It's not at the moment. So no, at the moment it's kind of a manual thing that the founder has to input into the back end, into their admin panel.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we did. I mean, linking it with Discord is possibly an option. What we do have to think about though is security with URL links and stuff like that. It's very important.
True.
So, yeah, there's a few things to think about on that side, but linking it with Discord has been discussed, and it is an option we're kind of looking at.
Gotcha. Okay, so at what moment in time basically did you like decide for yourself, like, I need to build this because like there's a huge hole in the market I want to fill?
Crikey. So we've been talking about it in the team chat for well over a year now. And yeah, about 6 months ago, actually decided to start doing it. Yeah, like literally, it's been in development for quite some time. We've been talking about it, and shall we, shan't we, shall we? Yeah, and here we are today. So I've still got a long way to go, but we're making great progress.
So how long is a long way to go?
That is like at the moment asking how long is a bit of string. It's really, really tough. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with web hooks and the tracking data, recording it, and CDN snapshots, and all this kind of stuff that gets a bit complex. But it kind of all depends on how the next few weeks go, I guess. And the thing is, I need a day off. Like, I'm not joking. I have been. I'm like a vampire. I just live in here on my own, and I've been non-stop for like 6 months, day in, day out, doing all-nighters, multiple shifts. I don't think I've been outside or been to the shop in 2 months.
I mean, sunlight is overrated, Rico. Let's just call it like it is.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, I could do with a couple of days off just to reset the mind and come back a bit fresh. It does help now and again. But
Sure. I mean, like at the end of the day, like family and like your own like health, like it should come first, right? Because like at the end of the day, like without like any of those, like the platform is not gonna go live anyways.
Exactly. Yeah. I've got 2 kids. I mean, one's in Dubai, but my daughter's here, and the missus. So yeah, it'd be nice to spend a bit more time with them now and again. But I'll probably do it for a day and then come back.
Yeah, I mean, but like that's what we like talked about like earlier as well, right? Like that's the double-edged sword, right? Because like you're not gonna get there unless if you're gonna give it like your all, and probably a lot more than that. But
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's kind of a balance between like you should work extremely hard, but also be extremely sane and extremely good in your decision making.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, let me just think about what else we probably haven't touched on terms of the front end.
Sure.
So we kind of talked about the voting system, the orbs, the Orbis reward layer, the ranking system. Easy for collections to manage. At the moment, they have list your collection, which would essentially just put them straight into the suggestions column, but it will automatically populate their information.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some founders don't have their sort of, you know, the keys to their collection, the update authority wallet. So we've put 3 methods in there. If they can sign a message, great. Some people don't want to sign a message. Okay, send a really small SOL transaction, not a problem. We can verify the send via that. And there's some founders out there that, you know, probably derugs or stuff like that, they don't have access to the UA wallet. In those situations, it will be, you know, they'll have to literally contact us to do it. But you can easily manage your existing collection, just sign in, sign a message. And there's kind of 2 parts to managing your collection. Once you've signed a message here, you can easily manage the small things like the Twitter, Discord, and the collection information. But then there is, for advanced management, you can use the dashboard, which is what I was showing earlier. I haven't released that to founders yet. We're still kind of thinking about, you know, security aspects, links, and this kind of stuff, and, you know, what can founders have access to and what they can't. You know, things like if they say, yes, my images are animated, but they're not animated, and then it would just cause chaos. So yeah, we're kind of like just thinking around things like that. But my items, yeah, a lot of it's just standard stuff you'd kind of expect from a marketplace. So, you know, the other bits, but quickly here you can see all your NFTs from specific collections. If you click on one, it just shows you that one. If you click on 2 or 3, it will show you, you know, NFTs that you have from those. So little views like that. You've got your favorites up there, as you'd expect. Yeah, just I won't go into too much of the navigation. It's pretty much self-explanatory, a lot of it. But there's little touches as well. So let's say you're looking for NFT number 24. This really annoys me, right? So I just added an exact button, which, you know, then goes to find number 24. So little things like that. And let's say for this collection, for example, you really, you know, you like the autumn sweater and which eyes? I don't know, the annoyed eyes, for example. Okay. What you can do is set that as a favorite. Okay. And press save. And now it appears there. So let me just clear. Now, when you come back to the collection, you can see your favorite there. You can toggle it on and off, and you can quickly just toggle, and it will show you your favorites. So, yeah, just little things like that, and, you know, extra configuration. You can also, I haven't loaded it for this collection. There's a bit more of an advanced trait view, which you can kind of like collapse and expand, and you can press on them, and it will quickly add to the filters. Press close. Yes, just, you know, some of this stuff is mainly come from within the community about ideas and suggestions about, you know, what kind of things they want to see and how they want it to work. You've got a large image, you've got a small image, you know, things like this, holder data, etc.
So Rico, if I'm someone who is listening to you, but like obviously it's a lot of like going through an exchange, and basically if I would want to test it for myself, right? Your beta is obviously closed, or like if I want to just like use your platform right here, right now, is there like a possibility to? And if not, I get that you're not going to be able, like, hey, like we're going to open our doors like this or that, but like, is there some kind of a light to the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, so at the moment, the best thing to do is just put your wallet address in there and press submit into the request access if you're not already whitelisted.
Nice.
And we're kind of, you know, we're adding sort of 50 or so wallets at a time. You know, it's not just about adding 10,000 people in one go or making public. You know, we want constructive feedback and criticism, you know, and just making sure there's no bugs and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, anyone interested, just literally go to the site, put your wallet address in there, and you will get added. Okay, it's just a matter of time. Okay, so yeah, and once you're because
like that is like a big one, right? Because like this is what you mentioned earlier. You're not looking to grow like all that fast, all that soon. You're looking to basically build upon this like in a slowly but steadily manner in order to make sure you're going to be able to handle those bigger numbers when they're there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just there's no rush. Like, there's no rush. We build until we get everything perfect. So yeah, and having that community input is great. So yeah, we'll keep letting the community have their voice on stuff.
So maybe if it's all right with you, let's just like go to like some of your competitors, right? What are some of like the features to where, and let's not just like aim or like take shots at like Tensor and Magic Eden the entire time, but like let's also go for like the blurs, let's go for like the open seas, right?
Yep. Okay.
What would you say like what is like a common denominator of like some of like the mistakes you're seeing over there, which you're implementing right here right now? And I know like we've been like through your and pretty much like the entire exchange, right? But like word to mouth, right? Like what are some of like the bigger core issues with NFTs and NFT exchanges which you're going to fix with Orbis on Sol?
Okay, so I'm not going to say anything bad about other marketplaces.
Sure.
It's just not how I roll. But I think it's obvious what's missing from some marketplaces. I will say that OpenSea actually on Ethereum stuff, they probably do the best job with giving some about information about the projects. If you go onto OpenSea and you have a look and you just got to, Pudgy Penguins or something like that, you there's an about page and you can see some really clear information. That's great. That's what we want. That's what we want to see. Like I said earlier, there's got to be more to it than just, okay, buy and sell. Maybe you want to see the founder come on and live stream on the marketplace every now and again with their audience. Maybe, they say you want to discover who the team is. You want this kind of stuff. So yeah, that's where our focus is on that. It's helping projects to succeed. And I think the flywheel mechanism that we've implemented with a 40% buyback, the trickle down effect in volume kind of emphasizes that. And, that's the route we're kind of taking.
I think like, basically to your point, right? I think we're probably 95% of all of us, if not more, just like addicted to content at the end of the day. And I think if you can facilitate like your target audience with that kind of content, especially if you can make it like more dynamic with like, well, in whatever way, shape, or form, whether that be articles, commercials, Q&As, streams, as you said, or like whatever, I think like you're just gonna give people like a lot more to enjoy at the end of the day, right? Because like things are kind of stagnant these days. I mean, just like look at Tensor, and again, like it's not, I like Tensor, like I like especially the charting on Tensor, I find like really good.
Yeah,
like
okay.
But like it's quite stagnant. Sorry.
Yeah, okay, I'm listening. I'm just looking at the charts whilst you're we've implemented TradingView on here so far, where you do have full access to manage and view, all your design and settings just like you would on TradingView.
You want to show something, by the way, because like I put us in on our screen.
Oh, no problem. Don't worry. No, that's fine. I thought you were watching the stream.
There we go. Okay. There we go.
Okay, yeah. So on here, you can just any collection. You can click on chart. You have full options to change everything and draw and all this kind of stuff. Sorry. So we've got charts integrated, but we took it a little bit further where if you do have a token, it displays your token chart as well. So you've got the option for both. And as we were looking earlier, here you have a utility for each collection, and it will link to the staking site. And if they have a token, it will automatically link with Dupe and provide you with the token there. So yeah, just a couple little things.
So I got a question for you, Rico. Like, and this is something of like a common denominator I see with like so many NFT charts, and like it's driving me insane. Okay. The Wix is such a problem. Why is that? Like you see like these ugly charts on so many NFTs, right? To where it's barely unreadable in a way, right? Like, um, do you
Yeah,
know what
I
I
do
mean?
understand what you mean. Um, it depends how they're built. Like most of them are done. To be honest, I haven't looked at the other marketplaces to see how theirs are done, but ours is done on sale prices. Okay. But yeah, I do understand what you mean. I'll have a look into that, and I'll do a bit more investigation to see how you could make the wicks look a bit, not the wicks, the candles look a bit more like they would look when you're looking at a token chart, for example.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Um,
if the more it looks like TradingView itself, and I mean, like, the raw data is from TradingView, right? So like it
yeah,
should, um but for like us nerds who actually like to implement TA into NFTs, even though like we're getting like a lot of hate for it, um I
yeah,
think it's worth it, right? Like, I think it might be like added value, because like more often than not, I'm just forced to just use a line chart, and a line chart is not, it's just not really optimal.
yeah. Okay. I think it will be something to do with the calculation of the amount of sales during a particular candle, for example.
Mm.
It might actually be quite easy to add, but like I say, I need to have a bit of a deeper dive into it. At the moment, ours is just on sale price, I believe. So if you had a random sale of 9 Sol, the candle will flick up to 9 Sol, and then and so on. So yeah, I'll have a look into that though. I'll make a note.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? So,
Mhm.
what do you think? Like, I'm just like devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
I am Magic Eden. I am Tensor. I'm looking at this stream, and I'm like, oh shit, these guys are actually onto something. What are some of like the things which are actually like harder to implement? Or let's put it like, what's the threshold from basically doing what you guys are about to do in a little bit?
Do you know what? Anyone can do it. Let's be honest, right?
Sure.
Um, I think it probably just comes down to morals and what's been done before, and what people are doing now. Maybe anyone go back and look at the history and look at what we've done as a company and all this stuff over the last few years. People that will look into it will understand. So yeah, for me, morals is a big thing, right? So I'd like to think we're doing things the right way to support the communities, support the people that buy NFTs, and support these projects that have these collections. That's more of where our emphasis is, not on just pure extraction. So yeah.
I think like that's the big one, right? Like, add value to your customers rather than just like trying to milk them for the last 2 pennies.
Exactly. There you go. You want to support holders of collections, not bots flipping to. I don't know. It comes back to demand with the bots things, but at the end
Sure.
of the day, they are very damaging, or can be. Like if you go and buy an NFT, you want to be part of that community, right? It maybe gives you membership
Yeah.
or access. Maybe you buy it because you like the art, or you just want to hang with the community and stuff. Whatever your reason is, like, what was I thinking of saying then? I'm talking about the kind of bots and manipulating the floor price. Yeah, like your perception when after you buy an NFT. Let's say you buy an NFT for 1 Sol, and then you kind of want to see the floor price go up, right? Everyone wants
Yeah.
the NFTs.
Rather up than down, if anything.
Exactly, and I think bots have a big thing to do with that. And there's going to be some people out there that hate me, that do manage these bots and stuff. But it is what it is. It's damaging. It really is damaging. Like I could understand if they did it in a different way. Like it's good that they're
Sure.
providing exit liquidity for someone that may need to get out. That's fine, but don't just start reducing the price. Like just list it higher. There's more we're going to do on the bot side of stuff in the future. Unfortunately, with aggregated listings, we can't control. We want to display them, so we can't control. We can easily turn it on and off. That's not a problem. Founders can even have the choice if they want to turn it on and off as well. So they get the choice in the back end whether they want to display. So yeah, there's lots of options. And
talking about the bots, like, is there anything that you can elaborate on, like the measurements you guys like could take? I don't want to basically be like pulling like things you don't want to talk about, right?
That's fine. So, okay, look at this collection here. As you can see, okay, bears 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, all these NFTs are botted. Okay, so we track bot wallets. I'm not going to give out exactly how, but yeah. So, of course, there's more stuff we could do in the future.
That's crazy.
Now, founders could literally turn off. Founders can do stuff in the back end where they can turn off aggregated sales, but then it's kind of like, you know, as a community member, you kind of want to see everything for sale. You don't want to see just NFTs that are for sale on one marketplace. You kind of want them aggregated to see them all, right? So it's a way up between deciding what's best. So
I mean, like, take note, Magic Eden and Tensor. I mean, like, these are the things, right? Which is just, I mean, like, as a user, I'm so happy that like someone actually like cares enough to just like handle these things. To be honest with you, Rico.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like, it's actually like kind of refreshing that there's still like players within this market who are actually just not like dooming over like the future, but rather like look at it like from a positive light, limelight. Having said that, though, what are some of the current, I mean, like, you've been working on this for like the past year to 6 months, like somewhere around that range. What are some of the things which have been like a lot harder than you would have imagined, like starting this?
Sometimes it's the easy things that end up being the hardest things, like, and I say that, and images, like, just for example, images is one thing, right? Because you know, when you load a collection, it could be a high res collection, and obviously if you was to load all of those in a browser, it would just freeze on people's screen. So that's, believe it or not, images has been really, really, really tough, just of all the variations. But yeah, I like to think we're kind of in a good spot right now in terms of the quality of the image that is displayed, you know, the resolution stuff, and you know, because it's kind of measuring that against how fast images load when you scroll down and these kind of things. Like, because as a community member or founder, you know, you want to see a nice looking image of your NFT, right? You don't want to see a low res shocking image. So
I mean, like, images, it's about the art at the end of the day. Exactly
that. So images is definitely one thing. Images I've probably spent the most time on, to be honest. And then the other things is a bit more to do with like database reading and writing, what APIs and cron jobs are doing what and how often, and just making all that make sense, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the back end, you know, keeping up to date with NFTs that are staked, transferred to new wallets. And yes, we have Helios webhooks, of course, but you know, is it updating all the time for mints and burns? And yeah, so it's just a lot of layers of complexity, should we say, to get it right. So
I mean, like, the devil's in the details, right? For these kind of things. And I mean, like, I'm not technical at all, so like I should probably not just say anything to begin with, but like I've worked together with like quite some programmers, etc., and it's a lot of just like bug fixing and just like opening one, like closing one can of worms and going to the next one, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing with developing. You fix one thing, free break, and then you fix those and you're back to square one. But yeah, that's still part of the journey and the fun, you know. So but we're getting there. We're making great progress. So like I say, we're just adding a few more things, doing some more testing, collecting some more feedback, and we'll see how it evolves over the next few weeks.
Let's say like I'm someone tuning into this right now. How can I contribute to you guys, like, well, going live, like helping with the testing? Like, what are the things, like the kind of bug fixes?
Okay, yeah, sure. Best thing to do is, well, on the sign up page there's a link to Discord. Join the Discord. At the moment, it's not openly. It's kind of a Discord where we have founders in there, to be honest. So, because obviously we do a lot of solutions for founders, so it's more like a hub for founders, and they have a chat, they look at announcements and all this kind of stuff with updates. But anybody can join. Just open up a ticket, and if you have feedback, just put it in the ticket. It will be more than likely it will be me that will be answering you, or be another team member. And if you got any issues or you got any thoughts or suggestions, just please put it in the ticket, and it will be addressed to. It'll be looked at 100%.
So, sorry.
Now go on.
I was just gonna ask, right? I think from my point of view, we're in a time where founders are not the most visible, right? Like, I think, like, I've made like a video on this, like, hey, get to work, guys. Like, do something, right? What's your experience on the other hand, right? Because I get the part to where you don't want to sandblast your marketing funds right here, right now, but nothing is stopping you from having like the kind of conversations as we're having here, right? So, what has your experience with founders been? Like during this stage of the market?
What, for the marketplace, you mean, or just in general?
Yeah. I mean, let's go with both.
Well, we still have founders purchasing solutions and utilizing them on a daily basis.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, someone today just bought a trait store. Yesterday, someone got a staking site, and we've done a lot of work on those. Like I say, we started building those a couple of years ago, so we've been doing a lot of work on those over the last year as well. Not just forming this marketplace. And there's some more stuff to come on the marketplace that's not been revealed yet. That's kind of really exciting as well and it kind of leans more towards the token market as well, because that's the big question a lot of people ask is, how do you bring liquidity back from meme tokens back towards NFTs? So I'd like to think that we've got a couple of solutions there as well to implement further down the line.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that answers your question, or if I just went off on a tangent, but
it kind of does. It kind of does. Like on the one hand, like basically you're saying NFTs are not that, like, still like stuff is being bought right here right now from the infrastructural aspect to it, right?
And NFTs are not dead. You're here, I'm here. Anyone in this audience now is probably here because they're interested in NFTs, right? There's communities on a daily basis in Discord with hundreds and thousands of people, all because we're still in NFTs. All that's happened is, okay, there's a bit of a bear market going on in terms of token, Bitcoin, whatever, but it's nothing we haven't seen before. It's just history. It happens every 4 years, whatever. But we're all still here. Okay, some liquidity's moved from NFTs to tokens. That's all that's happened. So no, for me, NFTs are far from dead. I think they're just evolving. Some of the businesses are evolving as a business. They're trying to do more things. There's a lot more going into it now. So,
I mean, like, talking about the audience, there are like 260 live viewers right now. That's pretty nuts. That's I mean, I can only imagine that, like, out of like these 260 followers, many of them will probably have like questions on like what would a new kind of exchange look like, right? And I think like it kind of shows that there's just like a clear demand for people shopping their favorite kind of on-chain arts.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to build a marketplace for the people, rather than, it's not about extracting liquidity from you. It is about giving back to the holders. Just literally once a week, enter a giveaway just because you hold NFTs from another project. You don't even have to pay. It will be free entry, apart from the little bit of gas you have to pay to sign a Solana transaction. That is it. We can't do much better than that. And I'd like to think that we can continue with that 40%, because it's a big chunk. 40% of
that's a
revenue. when you got to pay for the infrastructure and everything else, yeah,
True.
40% is a massive chunk. But I think it's important to reward holders, to reward conviction more than it is to reward someone who just does the most volume, because volume can be just flippers, people just botting, for example. Why is that? Why should they be rewarded more than someone who is a diamond hand holder like yourself? You have, say, 50 NFTs from a certain project. You're the one that should be rewarded just for holding them. In my opinion. So
I mean, like, it would be nice.
yeah, exactly.
Right?
It's not all about volume. Volume's, yes, volume's important, but it's not all about volume. There's some projects, for example, like Dead King Society, a great OG project. I'm sure many of you have heard of
Sure.
it, but it's not a massive collection, and they don't get massive volume because they have diamond hand holders in there. But it's a great collection, great founder, etc.
Do you know who the founder is?
Yes.
Do you know like the backstory of him as well with DGots?
No, I didn't know the backstory about DGots. No.
So like it's actually quite interesting. So with DGots, you have like the mythic war helmet, right, being called like the Dylan.
The helm or the Dylan?
Yeah, the helm. Like it's basically like what I have like in my background, and I found this to be like really cool lore. There was a guy called Dylan, and that guy, the founder from Dead King Society, who actually flooded DGots as they were still minting, and allegedly flooded them into like oblivion. And he actually like was the one to mint like the full Dylan, so like the mythic war armor, and with the Dylan helmet, and to where like afterwards the helmet was called like the Dylan helmet, just because like he's such a character in like the lore. I tried to get him on a little bit ago, but like he was like a little bit apprehensive. But one day we'll get him on.
Yeah, okay. That's an interesting story. Lots of things like that you could display that somewhere. It'd be quite funny, but hey, yeah. So yeah, like I say, so it's about trying to shine a light on more projects, not just ones with top volume. Because there's a lot of great projects out there, right, that perhaps don't get a spotlight. Well, it's kind of not fair. They need to. They could have big communities. Just because their floor price might be low doesn't mean they don't deserve a spotlight. Just because they're not doing X amount of volume per week, because they have 100 bots trading their floor price or whatever. So there's more things.
I think that's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great point, and also like I believe like if we want to like continue to make this space grow, like we kind of have to wait for like the new dog in the yard, so to speak, right, to arise and basically see where it goes, right? Because like we might, I mean, like, heck, who knows, like it might be the likes of Hacks, Rogues, Gains, Medievals, or like other like projects we have not even heard of.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, man. So just like a question, we're obviously like a little bit closer to like the end than the beginning, if you will.
Yeah.
What would you reckon, like, when so like I'm not a doomer, obviously, right? Because like if like I would not have like invited you guys to begin with, but what are some of like the risks for your operation right here, right now, which could potentially lead to you guys like failing like your mission?
Interesting question. What are the risks to failing? I need to think on that one. I don't know. I don't really like. To me, life's hurdles, right? Everything, and you're kind of the person that you either stop at the first hurdle, or you plow through. You knock it down, you go around it, you jump over it, you go under it. You go. The goal is the goal, right? And that's that goal isn't going to change. How we get there just might change a little bit on the way, but yeah, I don't I don't see a massive risk. I guess now with the advancements in AI and people using them, I think we're going to see a lot more solutions come on chain that people have been using. So I guess that's a potential risk. But we've kind of been building solutions for 2 years before the AI craze. So it's not a massive risk. I'm just pointing out things that will happen. But like I say, the goal's the goal. It doesn't matter how we get there. That's what we'll do. It doesn't matter if it takes months or a year. There's no rush.
Gotcha. So on the flip side then, right? Let's say like fast forward 12 months and 2 years, 12 months and 24 months. And let's say like everything goes right. Let's not say we're gonna have like new all-time highs. That will mean like most like that will basically mean that like your average kind of NFT is gonna like 1000x or something like that. One can dream, but like let's say like a mediocre, like we're seeing like some nice kind of echo bubble.
Do you know what? Yeah, go on. Sorry, finish your question.
No, like go ahead.
I think what you're pointing out there, and to me, it's about statistics, right?
Sure.
Now, think about how you or anyone in the audience, how did you get involved in NFTs? The most common one is like maybe you bought some Bitcoin on Coinbase or another exchange, and then somehow got deeper into Web3, and then you ended up in NFTs, and now here you are, right? And probably love it, but statistically speaking, so imagine you do that, you go to an NFT project and you invest in some NFTs. Now, your first experience there could be a good one or a bad one, right? In terms of, okay, I bought some NFTs for $100, they're now worth 10. Well, that's going to be a bad experience. Statistically, what are you going to do from then on? Are you going to continue on your journey, or are you going to say goodbye and see you later? You're out. Now, we want new people to come on board, and we want those statistics to increase of they're going to continue exploring the wider ecosystem and more projects, etc. So as a member, the more kind of investment you make into each NFT project and the more successful that they can be, the greater these statistics are going to be. And then once you start increasing them, it's kind of a knock-on effect, right? Because they might tell their friends about it, etc., word of mouth. So for me, it's a lot about statistics of, just those doing things the right way. Like you got to provide all the infrastructure for them founders and stuff, and for the community to make it a success. But once you start doing that, and more people are successful rather than fail, I think that has a big knock-on effect. If that kind of makes sense, if you see what I'm kind of trying to say there, trying to explain, should we say?
No, it does make sense. So here's like more to the point, right? Do you reckon like you guys are going to improve the marketplace and like ecosystem, or are you more so on a quest to redefine it as like the way we interact and engage with NFTs?
I think it's a little bit of both. I really hope that again we can improve those statistics, because that's really important. But if we can also provide ways that do cause us to interact and explore the communities we're already in a bit differently, then great. Give that give communities a better understanding of a project, or like I say, shining light on others and things like that. So yeah, I think it's a bit of both.
Fair enough, man. Rico, like let's start to move like to the closing of parts, right? Like
Sure.
Any call to action you would like to provide for like the audience who might be interested in Orbis as an exchange, and who want to like be a part of like what you guys are doing from the perspective of being a user?
The call to action right now is obviously add your wallet. After this session ends, I will look at the most recent wallets submitted, and I will go and add. I don't know, allowed a 50 or 100 or something. Like I say, I'm trying to keep it a bit gated at the moment, just for development reasons. But so that's the first thing. Go and add your wallet, and then I'll after the session ends, I'll add a few. But then if you want to come and talk, if you want to jump on a chat, even, you know, I ain't got all the time in the world, but I'll talk to anybody at any time. My time is your time. So jump in the Discord, leave some feedback in a ticket. You'll be responded to. So, and that really helps. You know, we want your feedback. Don't open a ticket. It doesn't matter how stupid it is, whether it's like you think something should be spelled differently or displayed differently. It doesn't matter. Like your input is your input. Just whatever it is, however minor or major. Then feel free to open a ticket and drop it in, because we really do want your feedback. It's important.
Gotcha. Okay. I know, like, and I'm gonna let you go like after this one. I know that you said that you cannot I mean, like, you cannot just like drop the ball in like how long it will take, but like as a rough estimation, are we talking more than half a year, or could we expect like
sooner than that? Oh, sooner than that. Yeah, nowhere near.
Okay.
There'd have to be something majorly wrong for it to take that long.
Sure.
Like I say, we're mostly there at the moment. I'm just literally monitoring like the amount of read and writes per day, and the databases and the costs, and etc. So once you kind of get those ironed out, sort a few admin panel details out. That's simple stuff though, you know, who, like, what founders can have access to. Yeah, so definitely within 6 months, probably half that.
All right,
but we'll see.
Fair. I mean, like, I'm super excited. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I mean, like, we got like around like 300 live viewers, which is kind of nuts.
Don't tell me that. I'll choke like Eminem.
Guys, like, don't let like speculators sell us any different. Like, we're not dead, right? Like, there's like of course, that's a lot of people tuning in, right, for like genuine interest.
Exactly.
And which is actually like a great statistic and like a great way of measuring. Anyways, Rico, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me on and giving me an opportunity to you know, to have a voice and to showcase a little bit.
Oh yeah, man, appreciate it. And I'm gonna close down the stream, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're interested, like, go and follow Rico and or Orbis on Sol. And if you like this kind of Solana NFT alpha, make sure to follow the NFT cat _Sol. So yeah, Rico, appreciate it.
Good man. Take care, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Talk to you soon, brother. We're purring out.
Bye.